old fellows. You used to dip the broth served to the poor at the festival of Theseus with little pieces of bread hollowed out like spoons. How worthy of envy is your fate? How happy are you, both you and just all men?
My good fellow, what has happened to your friends? You seem the bearer of good tidings.
What joy for my master, and even more for Plutus. The god has regained his sight. His eyes sparkle with the greatest of brilliancy, thanks to the benevolent care of Aristophanes.
Oh, what transports of joy! Oh, what shouts of gladness!
One is compelled to joy, whether one will or not.
I will sing to the honor of Asclepius, the son of illustrious Zeus. With a resounding voice, he is the beneficent star of the men which men adore.
What mean these shouts? Is there good news? With what impatience have I been waiting in the house, and for so long, too?
Quick, some wine, mistress, and drink some yourself. It's much to your taste. I bring you all the blessings in a lump.
Where are they?
In my words, like you're going to see.
Have done with trifling. Come, speak.
Listen, I'm going to tell you everything from your feet to the head.
Oh, don't throw anything at my head.
Not even the happiness that I give to you?
No, nothing to annoy me.
Having near arrived at the temple with our patient, then so unfortunate, but now at the apex of happiness and blessed, we'd lead him down to the sea to purify him.
Ah, what a singular pleasure for an old man to bathe in the cold seawater.
Then we repaired to the temple of God, once the wafers and various offerings had been consecrated upon the altar, and the cake of wheaten meal had been banded toward the devouring Hephaestus. We made Plutus lie on the couch according to the rite, and each prepared him a bed of leaves.
Had any other folk come to beseech the deity?
Yes, firstly, Neoclides, who is blind, sees much better than those who can see clearly. But then many others attacked by the complaints of all kinds. The lights were put out, and the priest enjoined us to all sleep, especially recommending us to sleep silent. Should we hear any noises? They were all lying down, quite quietly. I could not sleep. I was thinking of a certain stew pan full of pap placed close to an old woman and just behind her head, and I was furiously longing to slip towards that side. But just as I was lifting my head, I noticed the priest who was sweeping off both the cakes and the figs off the sacred table. Then he made a round to the altars and sanctified the cakes that remained by sweeping them into the bag. I therefore resolved to follow such a pious example and made straight for the pap.
You rogue, have you no fear of the god?
Indeed, I feared the god with the crown on his head might have been near the stew pan before me. Like I said to myself, like priest, like God. On hearing the noises I made, the old woman put out her hand, and I hissed, and I bit it. Ow! Just as the sacred serpent might have done. Quick, she drew back her hand and slipped down into bed with only her head beneath the coverlets and never moved again. Only she let out a plea of a fart, which sang worse than a weasel. As for myself, I swallowed a goodly portion of that pap, and having made a good feed, went to bed.
And did not the god come?
He did not tarry. When he was near us, oh dear, such a good joke did happen. My tummy was quite blown up, and I let out a thunderous fart.
Doubtless the god pulled a weary face.
No, but Isaiah blushed a little, and Panacea turned her head away, holding her nose, because my farts are not perfume.
And what did the god do?
He did not even pay the slightest heed.
He must then be a pretty coarse kind of god.
I don't say that, but he's used to tasting stools.
And pundit now, go on with you.
Then I hid myself in my bed, all a tremble. Auspicius did not round the patients and examine them with great attention. Then a slave, placed beside a stone mortar, a pestle, and a little box.
Of stone?
No, not of stone.
But how could you have seen all of this? You dark rascal, when you say you were hiding all the time.
With great gods, through my cloak, without no holes, he first prepared an ointment for Neoclides. He threw in 3 heads of Tanian garlic into the mortar, pounded them with an admixture of fig tree sap and lentis, moistened the whole thing with spinini vinegar, and turning back to the patient's eyelids, he applied their salve to the interior of the eyes, so that the pain might be more excruciating. Neoclides shrieked and howled, sprang towards the foot of his bed to bolt. But the god laughed at him. Keep where you are with your salve. By doing this, you will not go and perjure yourself before the assembly.
What a wise god, and what a friend to our city.
Therefore he came and seated himself at the head of Plutus' bed, and took a perfectly clean rag and wiped his eyes. Panseer covered his head with a purple cloth, while the god whistled, and 2 enormous snakes came rushing through the sanctuary.
Great gods!
They slipped gently beneath the purple cloth, and as far as I could judge, they licked the patient's eyelids. For less time than you need, mistress, to drain down the 10 beakers of wine, Plutus rose up and could see. I clapped my hands with joy and awoke my master. And the god immediately disappeared with serpents into the sanctuary. As for those who were lying near Plutus, you can imagine that they embraced him tenderly. Dawn broke, and not one of them had closed an eye. As for myself, I did not cease, thanking the gods who had so quickly restored Plutus to his sight and made Neoclides blinder than ever.
O thou, great Asclepius, how mighty is thy power! But tell me, where is Plutus now?
He's approaching, being escorted by an immense crowd. The rich, whose wealth is ill-gotten, they're knitting their brows and shooting looks at him with fierce hate, while the just folk who let the wretched existence embrace him and grasp his hand in the transport of their joy. They follow in his wake, their heads wreathed with garlands, laughing and blessing their delivered. The old men could make the earth as they resound the walk. Together, keeping this time, come, all of you, down to the very least, dance, leap, form yourselves into a choir. No longer do you risk being told when you go home, there's no meal in this bag.
And I, by Hecate, I will string you a garland of cakes for the good tidings that you have brought me.
Hurry, make haste, then our friends are close at hand.
I will go indoors to fetch some gifts of welcome to celebrate these eyes that I have just seen open.
Meantime, I'm going forth to meet them.